Bill Cosby's wife will now testify in a civil case against the TV legend stemming from accusations of his sexual misconduct. The news comes just days after a Pennsylvania district attorney charged Cosby with felony assault over an encounter with a woman 12 years ago. These are, of course, the first criminal charges against the once celebrated comedian. However, dozens of women accuse Cosby of sexually assaulting them in incidents dating back decades. Cosby's attorney, though, says the charges against him are politically motivated and, from their perspective, baseless.
This case involves a woman and a man who had a consensual adult relationship over time. That's established in everything that is already out there in the media.
Here to discuss, criminal defense attorneys Mike Gottlieb and John Manuelian. John, first to you. If Camilla Cosby testifies in this civil case, obviously these are different cases about different women, but does that then open the floodgates that she could be called in this criminal case to testify against her husband?
Well, there's something called spousal immunity. That's going to be used by Bill Cosby's attorneys to maintain that whatever she testifies to in the civil case doesn't necessarily translate to using that testimony in the criminal case. That's going to be one of the legal wranglings that the criminal defense attorney is going to have to do in this matter.
Mike, when you look at that argument, Camilla is also Cosby's business manager and advisor and those kinds of things, was intimately involved in trying to drown out these allegations of sexual misconduct over the years. Does that give up spousal immunity once you become something more than a spouse to the accused?
Well, it's certainly a minefield for her or for his team, because there's so many issues. When and how was she told the information that she was told? Was it given to her in a way in which he expected it to be privileged and not be disseminated? So they're going to have to be very careful in utilizing her as a witness if they choose to utilize her, or in dealing with her as a prosecution witness.
All right, so you're going to have these fights before the trial. Then comes to the issue of jury selection if we do indeed get to the trial, if there's no plea deal offered. I did pick up on this. Cosby tweeted out, Bill Cosby tweeted out, "Friends and fans, thank you." That came on New Year's Eve. And there was a slew of responses on Twitter. "Have a good 2016. Enjoy jail" was one of them. "You have erased so much of my childhood" was another. And there were a number of other ones that are, shall we say, a little bit too much to read on a family-friendly television program. So, Mike, how do you find a fair and impartial jury who doesn't have an opinion about this case when it's clear there has been so much publicity over so many years over somebody who's frankly a legend in so many minds?
Well, I mean, that's certainly going to be a problem. And one of the issues is Cosby's not going to be able to complain about the jury knowing about the case when he's courting media attention and he's developing support in the media. You have to find jurors who know nothing about it, people who don't watch TV, who aren't immersed in social media. You have to find individuals who say, if I know about the case, I can still be fair and impartial and judge this case based on the facts that are given to me and the laws explained by the judge.
You know, John, the New York Daily News had a headline that said, "He said, she said, she said, she said, she said," went on for 50 she saids in terms of all of the accusers that Cosby's had. In this case, he's only being charged with one sexual assault as it relates to one woman. Are they going to be able to bring in all of these other women to testify and show a pattern of behavior here of giving these women drugs and then assaulting them?
The prosecutor is certainly going to try. That's called prior bad acts. It's used when you show that your character is acting in conformity therewith. In other words, that he did it before in the same pattern, the same motive, and he probably did it in this case. However, I could guarantee you that their attorneys, Bill Cosby's legal team, is going to keep that out because it's highly prejudicial, and they're going to argue that once that comes in, there's no way that Bill Cosby will get a fair trial.
Well, we already know that Cosby settled a number of civil lawsuits as it relates to these kinds of incidents as well. John, Mike, we appreciate your guys' insight, and obviously we'll have you guys back as this trial heats up. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, what's coming up?